I'm going to do my very first Unreal Engine tutorial, but not so much Unreal Engine tutorial. This is more of a old fart, old school programming. What I mean by that, when I started programming, it was beginner all-purpose symbolic instruction code and Texas Instruments. Now, a lot of this is redundant, but this is a trace. So most of this is going to be either deleted or put in its own folder, whatever the case may be, so we can get rid of it. But it is a trace, and a lot of people I'm noticing, they don't do traces. There is a built-in trace in Unreal Engine, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are things working. When you plan out a game, you plan out all the rules and all the instructions and how things are going to work, and you need to know if everything works. So right now, for example, like when I first started, I just did it one at a time. I just built my trace. That's all I wanted to do. I have a logic that I want to run through, and I don't really care what it looks like. All right, I don't. If anything, I want a lot of mess because I want to be able to see each little section. So if anything goes wrong, I know exactly where to go and where to find it. These comment boxes, oh my god, use them. And this part here, it's big and ugly, but that's okay, because like let's say as you're building this, as you're building your game, and you like these sections, well then you find out, okay, how can I make it modular? How can I make it repeat? Can I turn it into a function? You can do a lot of things because you can see what works and what you like. If there's ever a problem somewhere, it's easier to see the problem as long as all the pieces are laid out. Try to avoid, when you're trying to do a tracing, try to avoid just assuming everything works. Like right here, I kind of like how this thing is working, so all I need to do is build something that actually runs through the players for me. So, that's not a big deal. The trace stage is before you build stage. So right now, I wrote out the logic by hand. And then after I wrote it out by hand, I start building the traces. Does this step of my logic work? That one work? This one work? I've got one last stage. I only have 4 steps to my logic, and the 4th step is going to be dealing with all the images, which I'll do I'll do later today. And that is, to me, tracing. I like it. I love it. So I would call that a success, since I'm not seeing any strange numbers, I'm not seeing any strange patterns, I'm not seeing anything that's changing. Here we go. And then after the next step, what I would have after that trace, then I would have pretty much most of the game, and then I would just go in here and just remove all the print strings. Get rid of most of these things here, keep some of the basic logic, and just get rid of the print strings, and then I'm ready to go. So the trace is great because you can test everything, and then when you're done, remove it. So start with tracing. Don't just try to build a program. Start with the tracing after you have your logic written down. But we shall see how this gets put together. And that's that, and that's that. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody have a good day. Rat out.